Alright guys, so welcome back to a brand new video. Today's video, I'm finally going to do the comparison that I get asked about all the time. And we're going to compare the Skullcandy we're going to compare the Skullcandy Smokin Buds 2 wireless to the Skullcandy inked wireless. Now I get asked questions about these all the time from the second that the Skullcandy inked came out, and I've had the Smokin Buds 2 from day one, and I've tried the inked for a while, and I think I can give a really good comparison now and answer some of the questions that you guys have all the time. Now we're going to start off with the build quality of these. As far as accessories go, you really just get two sets of earbuds, kind of basically like a medium to large size and a small size, and so far I can tell you that I've had no problem getting either one of these to have a good fit. With the earbuds that are included with these, you won't have a problem finding a good fit. Now I will start off with this. I honestly think that both of these serve two different purposes, and when I say that, look at the build quality of both, okay? One is very small, thin, and very bendable, and one has a little more thickness to it and a very thick neckband. So I will say right off the bat, if you plan on using one of these for working out, I'll go ahead and tell you now, you want to go with the inked wireless. And the reason for that is this neckband that's on the Smokin Buds 2, when you do have it around your neck, it fits really good as long as you're just kind of sitting here. But as soon as you're like moving around and going, this thing starts to fall back or off to the side, and it starts pulling. And so with working out, it won't stay where you want it to. With the inked wireless, you have your weight sitting in the front. And so when they're in, all your weights here, you move around, these things are kind of balancing up front. So you don't have to worry about them falling back, and they're not going to pull any more forward because the neckband is across your back. As far as build quality, the huge difference in these two is if you look at the inked wireless, you're able to just kind of ball them up into a ball. So if you're going to the gym or going somewhere, you can ball them up and you can just throw them in your pocket and you're okay. Now with the inked wireless, again, because of this neckband, now this thing does come off, but there's still a solid piece across here, so it's not as bendable. You can't fold this in half. These do kind of come down to a certain extent, but they're not, I don't think they're made to be as portable and robust as the inked. Now, when I say robust, I don't mean build quality, because I think build quality wise, you're better off with the Smokin Buds, because the cable on them is a flat cable. It's a lot thicker. It just feels more solid and it feels less fragile. As far as controls, I'm going to show you on the inked wireless, when you have them on your neck, on your left side are your controls, and they're all right here facing up. It's very easy to get used to. Power buttons in the middle, volume down, and skip back. Now again, Skullcandy, what they do with their skip back is you can't actually go back to a track before. You really can just go back to the track that you're on, and then your skip forward, all of that's right here on the left side. So when you have them on, the cable's not getting in the way. It's really just touch, and that's it. Now with the Smokin Buds 2, the difference with these is when they're in your ears, your controls are on here. So sometimes I've found, like, while I'm listening and I'm trying to skip the track, you're having to like find the cable and then start feeling around. Again, I know it sounds like I'm knocking these, but you'll see my pick and why at the end. As far as battery life, you do get a slightly larger battery life in the Smokin Buds wireless because of the bigger battery it's able to hold in the back. The inked wireless shows about, I think, 6 to 8 hours, and I think the Smokin Buds are about 8 to 10, so it's very close. You can still really get a full day use out of either one of them. Now on to the important part, the sound. This is where there's a huge difference between the two. Now, this is where, to me, the Smokin Buds come out on top, and that's why the Smokin Buds are my go-to earbuds between the two. I'll start off with the inked wireless. What I will say is they both sound incredible, and it kind of still depends on what your taste and what you look for in music, because the inked wireless have a more fun sound. It's more open. Like they said, okay, with bass, we're going to push it up some. Treble, we're going to push it up some. We're not worried about having this tight sound. We like, you know, somebody that likes popular music and more mainstream music, hip hop, stuff like that. This is the earbud you want because most people like bass. And I found the more I tested them that the Inked actually has a more loose bass, which causes you to feel like there's more oomph in the sound than what maybe the Smokin Buds have. But the Smokin Buds wireless has a tighter sound with tighter bass. It's still punchy, but a lot less loose. So if you like music that has a lot going on, like if you're listening to metal or some rock, or even there's some dance music that has a ton going on, it does a better job of just holding it all together and not really making it seem like there's one thing that's kind of overpowering everything else. I can say that I highly recommend both, but it all depends on what it is you want in your earbuds. So if you want something for exercising, do not go with the Smokin Buds wireless. You have to go with the Inked on that case. But if you do a lot of sitting at the desk or just sitting around the house, the Smokin Buds will be perfectly fine, and you won't notice the neckband kind of pulling away at you. If you're real picky about sound, I would go with the Smokin Buds. But if you are really into a more fun sound, more pushed to the limits as far as bass and as far as overall just like a stereo system in your car, you got to go with the Inked wireless. So there's definitely a huge difference between the two, and I think Skullcandy did that because they know there's different demographics and they want to make sure they have something covered for everybody. As far as price goes, the Inked wireless come in at $50 and the Smokin Buds come in at $60. So for the $10 extra, you're getting a slightly better build, slightly better battery life, and a tighter sound. So I think the $10 trade-off is worth it, and that's why I go with the Smokin Buds too. But even if you go with the Inked, you won't go wrong. So anyway, that was my finally did it comparison between the Inked wireless and the Smokin Buds wireless. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you guys so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.